Are you sleeping on Fusion Strike? Let's look at the numbers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll be talking about Fusion Strike and whether this is your last chance to wake up and invest before it's too late. I'll take you through how this set was received, the current market for singles, and then we'll dive into sealed product and I'll give you some 5-year price targets. So first of all, what is going on with Fusion Strike? Well, let me pull this up here. So the booster box over the last month or so is up 8%. What is happening? A couple of things. So Pokémon Center US are sold out of these booster boxes. The UK still have them, just as a footnote there. I think they're unlikely to print more. There could be some restocks at the Pokémon Center, that's common. But there are lots of cards now in Fusion Strike coming out of competitive rotation. The tins that you see at Costco and big box stores, all that stuff, they're now filled with Scarlet and Violet era. Maybe there's some Lost Origin, Silver Tempest in there, but it really does feel like we are getting to the end of the road with the printing and the distribution of Fusion Strike, which is usually where sets will start to take off. And I think Fusion Strike really is a kind of forgotten set. It is almost a sleeper set. So let's take a step back. For those of you who don't know, Fusion Strike was released November 12th, 2021. It's, just over 2 years old, 2 years, 3 months. It is the 8th expansion of Sword and Shield era. Now, in terms of set reception, Fusion Strike has a lot of hate on it, quite honestly. People, for the most part, are not huge fans of this set. Now, why is that? Well, it came just after Evolving Skies, which is a tough act to follow. It has that Mew VMAX deck which came out of it, which just destroyed competitive play for a long time. Like, very frustrating to play against. A lot of people are really over that, and they'll be very excited to see it leave rotation in April. There are a fair number of filler cards. It's a very long set at 284. I think the longest English expansion out there. They printed a lot of it, but look, the main reason people don't like it is the pull rates are really horrendous. Just horrendous. Like, I'll pull them up here. Like 1 in 2,000 chance-ish of getting that full art Mew VMAX. 1,400 chance of Espeon, 1 in 1,000 of the Gengar. Like, these are absolutely brutal pull rates. And many were suspicious that something was wrong with this set from the start. And they had their suspicions kind of validated when we saw stories popping up about the error or the God boxes up here in Canada. I think I have one of these error or God boxes. So I'll pull it up on the screen. You can see these are the pulls from one booster box. So wildly uneven distribution of pulls. Some factory worker decided they would make loads of people's day and then, really piss off some other people. I don't know how that went, but, you can see what happened there. There's also the alleged theft that a Pokemon worker from the factory stole a bunch of the rare cards and then tried to offload them all at once at a card store. I don't know what they were thinking. This is all alleged, right? It's not been confirmed. But, why wouldn't you just piece those off over the years? Why would you take all of them to a card store and just all at once? This is kind of crazy. Anyway, there's lots of drama around this set. It's clear that something went on with the distribution, even though Pokemon deny it. Like, it's just something's fishy there, right? So, but look, personally, I think this is a really strong investment potential set. Let's look at some of the top chase cards, right? So you've got 2 cards over $100, 5 over 20. That's decent. I'm going to bring up Chilling Reign here because Chilling Reign has 2 over 100, 16 over 20. It has a lot more depth. So Fusion Strike, honestly, it's really carried by 2 cards. But if you're going to pick 2 cards to carry a set, these are some pretty good candidates. So Gengar VMAX, first of all, this is on an absolute tear. It is up 24% year over year. It's one of the most iconic Sword and Shield era cards. It floats around kind of that $200 range. The PSA 10, there's 5,000-ish of those. It's up to around $400, $393 for a PSA 10. If you were looking at Gengar like a year and a half ago, it would have been like, 7th, 8th on those lists, top 10 most expensive Sword and Shield era cards. Well, now it's going to pop up between kind of 4 and 6, depending on the week. It's overtaken the Charizard from the Rainbow Charizard from Champion's Path, the Lugia from Silver Tempest, the Charizard from Brilliant Stars. It just keeps going up. And I think this card is going to do great long term. It is probably my favorite card from Swish era. I love it. I own it in a 10. I think it's great. And what's going to happen with this is I can see the thumbnails and the titles on YouTube already where it's like, I opened 12 booster boxes and I pulled the impossible Gengar. Like, I can see that and people clicking that and that getting a lot of hits. Pokemon fans, Pokemon collectors are gluttons for punishment. We all know you can buy singles way cheaper, like months after release, but we go and open all the products at release and pay top dollar for them. Anyway, that's just what happens. So people are going to want to rip this set for the chance of saying, I pulled the Gengar. Then you have Espeon VMAX. Another great one. I think evolution stuff is just going to skyrocket over the next few years, especially over the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Yes, it's down 19%. That represents a real bargain for me. 4,600 PSA 10s. What is this card? It hovers around, what, 125 bucks. So look, I think this is a killer card to go and get. By the way, guys, subscribe to my channel if you like Pokemon investing content, collecting content. There will be lots more in the future. The story from here on the singles market really is, look, the singles in this set are dirt cheap. They represent insane value. Look at the Mews up here. Like, you know, Mew was the VMAX full art, supposed to be the top chase card in the set, down 33%. It's basically a $60 card. You got the Mew V Alt Art down 38%. My favorite here is this Rainbow Mew. I think it's just, the rainbow cards, they're not making them anymore. This has got a great texture on it. These are really great entry points on some really stellar cards. And speaking of stellar cards, look at this Celebi over here. Like, such a majestic artwork. It's 27 bucks. I've got a real soft spot for this card, like Celebi in the courtyard, bringing life to the winter, the snowy trees, like just a gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. Then you've got cards like Inteleon, which is a bargain at 21 bucks. Genesect V with the Smeagol in the background, that's like a $12 card. Just insane value on these ones. So there is some challenges with this set. I think if I'm being nitpicky, considering its size, I did preface it with, you know, the Chilling Reign stuff. Like, I brought that up because considering how big Fusion Strike is as a set, it really doesn't have that much depth, right? You've got like Sandaconda somewhere down there. Like, there just isn't this great depth. And I think while it's unfair to say it doesn't have trainer galleries, because trainer galleries came with Brilliant Stars, which is the next set, the trainer cards themselves are kind of weak, right? Your top waifu in this set is a $3 card. It's Elisa Sparkle. Not a very good one. There's a real missed opportunity for me, right? I think if they'd had Sabrina as a trainer card there, if they'd had Chantel, maybe a young Agatha, Fantina, these kind of psychic ghost type trainers and gym leaders that I think would have been really, really good for the set. Anyway, they didn't have a Rainbow Gengar either, which I think is a big miss, but look, I mean, no one's listening to me. So anyway, is this set any good? You're probably thinking, Rob, do I need to wake up on this set or what? Like, the singles doesn't look that great. Everything's really, really dirt cheap except that Gengar and that Espeon. So yes, value of singles and sealed, they are intrinsically linked, but the more time goes on, the more product is ripped, the more that they do start to kind of separate a little bit, and you're looking for gains. So let's look at Forbidden Light, for example, from Sun and Moon. 6 years later, it's a $400 booster box. The most expensive card in that is the Energy Recycler, and that's under $50. That's kind of an example for you there of what will happen. I think Fusion Strike will do very well. So here's the price targets. Before I give you the price targets, just a quick note. I made a video about Brilliant Stars. I think it's pretty cool. But in that, I would like to amend my price target on the Brilliant Stars Elite Trainer Box to around $100. I think I put it at $70 or so. So I want to amend that. So Fusion Strike, I think per pack, we're going to be hovering between the $11 to $13 range in 5 years. There will be a premium on the booster box, but we'll start with the 3-pack blister. You've got Espeon or Eevee as your choices in here. Look, there's still a lot of these out there. If you can pick this up around 15 bucks or less, I think that's good. It will do well. It's already up 14% year over year. I've got a price target on the 3-pack blister of $45. If you're an entry-level investor, these are good ones to go for. Just remember, you've got to sell it on. So if it makes a 400% gain, you've got to take out potentially shipping, sell-on fees, all that fun stuff. So your actual profit margin could be just 20 bucks after 5 years. So just bear that in mind. Elite Trainer boxes. I love this Elite Trainer box. I think the artwork is absolutely gorgeous on this one. I got a soft spot for Mew. If you can find it below 38 bucks, I think that's a steal. $92 is my 5-year price target on this. It's up 15% year over year. The Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, it'll start to take off. They did a big reprint of a lot of these Swish Pokemon Center training boxes. There's no stamp promo in these, which I think kind of dilutes the value on this for me. I've got one purely as a collectible. So yeah, I don't think these are going to be as good as Scarlet and Violet era or Holiday Set Pokemon Center ETBs. The big one is, of course, the booster box. So these booster boxes are up 15%. And by the way, I know it was 15%, 15%, 15%. That's a coincidence. I did check the numbers. It's a coincidence there. If you can find this less than 150 bucks, that is awesome. I've got a buy target of 470. Sorry, I've got a 5-year price target of 470 on this box. I love the design. I love the way the colors pop compared to a lot of the white booster boxes. This really is the start of the run for me. I think this is the time where you'll be kicking yourself, in 12, 16 months if you haven't got something or some part of Fusion Strike in your portfolio. So What's the verdict? Yes, you've missed some gains if you haven't been investing in this set, but there's still time. It is going to start to climb over the next few years substantially. There are a couple of big chase cards which are going to drive that, but yeah, it's a cool set regardless. So look, grab some at whatever level you are comfortable with and just sit back and watch it grow. That's it from me, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Remember, Pokemon investing should be a very small portion of a well-balanced investment portfolio. Until next time, take it easy.